Hey, Ben Shapiro, sugar baby of fracking billionaires Wilkes Brothers, managed to clone himself. And now, this clone is locked in a room filled with nothing but a shower curtain, weird framed vaporwave thumbnails, columns of purple light to feed the clone's chlorophyll, and TikTok. Brett Cooper, that's Brett Cooper, is the Daily Wire's second foray into women, in which Ben Shapiro seemingly just chose whoever he could relate to the most. The Daily Wire can always be seen in the background of conservative politics, platforming dumbasses like Matt Walsh saying conservative shit, Michael Knowles saying conservative shit, more like Michael no less, Andrew Clavin saying conservative shit, and Candace Owens cooking chicken dip. They also house Jordan Peterson and PragerU. Whoa, PragerU? Oh, I love those guys. How'd they get them? Oh, wait, those damned Wilkes again. Do they have some kind of agenda or something? Brett Cooper seems to be going for a younger generation. She's got this whole TikTok thing and a fake streamer setup. And to this new generation, she has refreshing takes like transphobia. Wait, no, I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm supposed to talk about other thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I thought that this was going to start with them announcing that they got somebody arrested. Do they even know how this meme works? Who's their meme guy? It's supposed to be in response to someone like slipping up and revealing something. But reaching 1 million subscribers is not like a celebration. I cannot believe that the Daily Wire is so out of touch that at no point did anybody notice how incorrectly that they were using this. But hey, congrats on 1 million. Totally genuine growth. That wasn't just the Daily Wire pumping resources into it. I mean, look at all these tags. Holy shit. Hashtag checkup, hashtag bowl cut, hashtag based. It's like a shitty word association game, but with conservative buzzwords.
The thing we're going to talk about today is not as fun as hitting 1 million subscribers, and that is doctors transing kids, which I just kind of have to put it bluntly. I did a TikTok on this video last week, but as more information came out about this whole situation, I realized that this should probably be a full episode because it was just too awful and there was too much happening to ignore.
I hate the whole vibe she's giving it, like she's about to deliver an incredibly important PSA.
It's me, Mario! Yeah! Here we go!
And instead, she's just getting ready to lie to her entire audience. The disdain and dismissive language geared towards trans people, it's just so disgusting. Like, holy shit. It's not an apocalyptic event, it's just... Ugh. You'll see later. I won't spoil the misinformation surprise.
Because in 2022, your children's doctors might not be as innocent as you believe. Whether they know what they're doing is wrong or they're just terrified of a sick mob coming to cancel them if they don't chop off your children's boobs, they are getting in between parents and children and they are pushing damaging trends.
It's so exhausting to just hear the same thing over and over, except with even more disgusting language and pure hatred, all balled up into unashamed lies. What doctor is getting cancelled? Are they going, oh man, I was gonna do an illegal underage medical transition on this child, but I'm afraid of teenagers on Twitter? Fucking course not. The right's reliance on stupid buzzwords is nauseatingly pathetic.
Just watch. This is the OG video that I reacted to.
Gender-affirming hysterectomy is very similar to most hysterectomies that occur. A hysterectomy itself is the removal of the uterus, the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus, and the fallopian tubes, which are attached to the sides of the uterus. Some gender-affirming hysterectomies will also include the removal of the ovaries, but that's technically a separate procedure called a bilateral oophorectomy. And not every gender-affirming hysterectomy includes that, and people who are getting gender-affirming hysterectomies do not have to have their ovaries removed.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Cheery Doctor. Oh, don't worry. If you get a gender-affirming hysterectomy as a 14-year-old, you might not have to have your ovaries removed. We don't have to sterilize all parts of you. So exciting. I mean, that is literally as grotesque as it was the first time that I watched it.
Well, I appreciate the info on what a hysterectomy is, I guess. Crazy that no part of the video is about performing them in 14-year-olds. Holy shit. Of course, not only is this thing a lie, it's an insane lie. They never performed hysterectomies on anyone below the age of 18, but we'll get into that later. But it's insane that the video just says nothing about it, but they can just assume that it does. It's like watching a video about how guns work and saying, I can't believe they're doing this to kids. Oh wait, they are doing that to kids. And you only seem to care about keeping guns in everybody's hands.
I'm still not numb to it. I'm numb to a lot of things on the internet these days, but this is body mutilation of minors. Like, I'm never gonna just roll over and let that happen.
You don't have to roll over and accept it. It's not happening. Nothing said it was happening other than the libs of TikTok, which doesn't post libs on TikTok anymore apparently. It just shows educational videos and then lies about them instead. God, conservative outrage is just so pathetic. It's so infuriating to know they think of themselves as great saviors, right after telling so many people that they're disgusting, while trying to convince the world that those same people are evil.
What happened to first do no harm? It's the first part of the doctor's oath. When you get your white coat in the white coat ceremony, first you do no harm. Seems like these days they're doing a lot of harm without asking any questions or doing any other kind of care first.
Wow, what a zinger you got there, random Twitter dumbass. First part of the doctor's oath. Let's have a look at that first part of the Hippocratic Oath real quick. I swear by Apollo Healer, by Asclepius, by Hygeia, by Panacea, and by all the gods and goddesses. No, wait, that doesn't fit her Christo-fascist agenda. Let's look at a bit more. To hold my teacher in this art equal to my own parents. No, we're almost halfway through the damn thing. I will use those dietary regimens. I guess that's really all I had back then, not really applicable to modern science. Oh, here it is. And I will do no harm. Oh, and there's a more modern version that is actually used that doesn't even have do no harm in it. Now, I know it's kind of nitpicky and clearly not actually getting at her real argument, but it just shows the lack of care that goes into her argument. The actual argument that doctors just don't care to ask any further questions for someone transitioning is insane. It's literally the opposite. Thanks to people like Brett Cooper, it's incredibly taboo to even talk about transitioning, let alone get a doctor to agree to it.
Another person commented and said, you spelled sterilization of minors incorrectly, follow the money. It's a much better way to put it. This is not gender affirming. It is literally sterilization. Just putting it out there, if there is one thing that is certain about the medical industry, it is that they want to make more money off of everything.
Thank you for your input. Sativ Anon, why would you choose a tweet from a QAnon guy that doesn't even have enough engagement to show on screen? Yeah, but sure, follow the money. Oh, 9,000 reassignment surgeries a year are really what's funding the evil doctors. You know what? I've got an idea. Instead of allowing these evil doctors to charge upwards of $25,000, we should have the government either require them to lower prices through intervention, or maybe nationalize the entire industry. I know, pretty drastic, just it really feels like if we removed the profit incentive, these evil doctors would act only out of good. I'm glad we could agree on something, Sativ Anon.
If I have learned anything from doing this show, it is that I do not trust teachers and I do not trust doctors. And if you are a teacher or a doctor and you watch the show, I love you and I appreciate you because you're one of the good ones and you have common sense and you give me hope.
I got from the video that you don't like doctors, but what the hell? What are teachers taking strays for? The CRT thing earlier this year? Teachers make negative money after they buy all of the school supplies of their students. What evil agenda would they be pushing? Oh no, these evil teachers and doctors keep trying to make people feel happy. You better be one of the good ones that try to make children feel disgusted by their own feelings. Ugh, what an evil woman.
But that was not the only video that they thought was a great idea to upload online. Here's another one.
A child will often know that they are transgender from the moment that they have any ability to express themselves, and parents will often tell us this. We have parents who tell us that their kids, they knew from the minute they were born practically, and actions like refusing to get a haircut or standing to urinate, trying on siblings' clothing, playing with the quote opposite gender toys, things like that. There is more and more a group of adolescents that we are seeing that really are coming to the realization that they might be trans or gender diverse a little bit later on in their life. So that is a growing population that we are seeing, and that's being recognized as being trans and able to be treated.
This is an actual doctor at Boston Children's Hospital. Listen, guys, if your child playing with boys' toys, not wanting to cut their hair, that's trans, go ahead, send them on into the hospital.
No, that's not what the doctor said. The doctor said that it could be signs of it. Obviously, defying gender norms is not even close to a guarantee that a child is trans, but once a child is saying that they think that they are not the gender they were assigned at birth, it's pretty likely that they are right. But I will agree with you here, Brett Pooper. Seeing a child at birth and going, oh, they're trans, is kinda stupid. You ever see a newborn? Those things are like blobs covered in some weird jelly. It really is ridiculous to assign a gender to something that can't even think. I'm glad we can agree on that.
I had 3 older brothers. I did not like wearing dresses. I had a bowl cut.
No, that explains the tag, I think. I hope all the bowl cut fans out there enjoyed our video.
I still sit when I pee sometimes when I'm tired. I guess I'm trans. Exactly! The men just need a break. A man sitting down, it's not a bad thing, guys. Like, I understand. Carrying the weight of the world on your masculine shoulders. Sometimes you just need a rest.
Oh god, her DMs must be horrific. Imagine all the conservative old men watching this, like, yeah, I do carry the weight of the whole world on my masculine shoulders. This girl's alright. If you think creepy dudes can be obsessive, imagine ones that are being told that they are better than everyone else by people like Brett Cooper.
And they posted over 90 of these videos promoting treatment and spreading trans awareness on their YouTube channel. Libs of TikTok and a few other people, including Matt Walsh, got their hands on these videos, started retweeting them, talking about this whole situation. And then, of course, PolitiFact came in, like the buzzkill that they are, with a fact check, and they said, no, they don't actually give surgeries to minors. Just look at their website. But people already had, and they had kept screenshots. Because if you look here, this is from Boston Children's website, breast removal for trans boys at age 15. Previous guidance suggested that this could be done at least a year after hormones, around 17, although a specific minimum age wasn't listed. Most genital surgeries starting at age 15, including a womb and testicle removal, a year earlier than previous guidance.
Ugh, I don't know if she just can't read because it's right in front of her face, but that's not true. PolitiFact is talking about hysterectomies only, which they never offered to anyone under 18. This tweet she pulls up doesn't take this from the Boston Children's Hospital's website. This is the website back in April, which says most genital surgeries starting from 17. Which the tweet then just lies about being hysterectomies. This most thing, by the way, is talking about 1 out of 3 surgeries. Only vaginoplasty was able to be performed on 17-year-olds, which has since been changed to 18-year-olds. Also crazy that Brett Cooper just reads it as 15. They couldn't do another take or anything like that? Too hard?
You might think that 17 is old enough, but legally, that is still a minor. PolitiFact, so get it together.
Yeah, you should though like we do, so that we can pretend to have epically owned you in our shitty videos.
By the time that this fact-checked graced the internet, Boston Children's had already gone into their website, the whole section with this transgender suite, all the information about it, and had changed the language on the website. And so here's an example of some of the changes. Here's this page, our approach to transgender reproductive health. That was a few days ago. Now here, the updated one, our approach to transgender reproductive health. We only perform gender-affirming hysterectomies on patients who are 18 or older. Well, that's certainly new.
Yeah, I wonder why they added that. It's not like there was a mob of insane conservatives screaming at them about it or anything. Why would them saying they don't do a thing mean that they did it beforehand? I genuinely don't understand why anyone thinks this is even an argument.
Especially in that first video where they talked about very young girls getting hysterectomies.
Oh, so you just lie even more when your audience is more likely to have forgotten the exacts of the video that you just showed them. God, I love spreading misinformation on the internet. It's so much fun, isn't it?
I'm sorry in advance.
Hi, my name is Priya Dar. I'm one of the doctors at the Center for Adolescent and Young Adult Health here at the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about puberty blockers.
How about new?
Puberty blockers are basically a medication that says, hey, let's just put a pause on puberty. And that can be really beneficial.
Oh my god. Conservatives are so unfunny they become funny. What was with the fucking, like, South Park sound effect? What's with the meerkat reaction to puberty blockers? Oh wait, don't tell me she's gonna misrepresent those as well. She would never do something nefarious like that.
For younger kids who have already started the puberty process, who either might go through a lot of psychological distress as they go through puberty if they're struggling with gender dysphoria, or for somebody who's saying, hey, I'm not really sure if I feel comfortable in my body or what gender I truly identify with.
Oh yes, puberty blockers. We just put a pause. Let's just slow down puberty. I'm sorry. Is this generation so sensitive that they are triggered by puberty that we just need to halt it?
Oh, she isn't trying to misrepresent it. She just says what it does, but in a scary voice. There is nothing wrong with delaying puberty. It's a non-invasive treatment that can easily be stopped to allow puberty to do its thing later. There's plenty of reasons to use them other than gender dysphoria too, but no, it's just because the younger generation is triggered by puberty. I could talk for hours about the stupid belief that hard times make strong people. Why would feeling constantly ashamed about oneself make them stronger? Why the fuck are we trying to make life harder for people for no other reason than it might make them stronger? It's a shitty argument that crawls out of its hole whenever no even slightly logical argument can be found to take its place.
Do you not, why are they putting this on the internet? They're so smug about it.
Just irony's dead.
Liz Wheeler tweeted and said, and people wonder why I'm inherently deeply skeptical of all pediatricians. These creeps are taking care of our kids. Exactly. And again, if I have doctors that watch this show, I'm obviously not speaking to you, but I do think it's important to point out that there are so many people that are waking up to the corruption within the medical industry. I mean, COVID was a huge wake-up call. People learned a lot when they were dealing with the vaccine, learning how much doctors get paid when they push pharmaceuticals on kids. There has just kind of been an uproar of people going, hold on. My eyes have been closed. I've been blindly trusting this. I need to be more careful.
Ooh, she's so close. When till you learn about queer medicine, what they did to gay men during the AIDS epidemic? Ooh, or black people in the early to mid-1900s in the Tuskegee experiment. Ooh, and don't forget the Sackler family and getting 20% of Americans using opioids. But no, all she can arrive to is boring transphobia.
So we just took my 3-year-old son in the doctor for a checkup. My 3-year-old son. So my wife and I are waiting in the room with our son, and the doctor comes in. And he sees my son sitting there on the table, and the first question that he asks him is, "Are you a boy or are you a girl?" And I look at my wife like, what the f-? So luckily my son understands obvious tenets of biology at 3 years old, and says that he's a boy, just like his chart says. And call me paranoid, but this is where I think we're heading based on other things that have happened. An Ohio couple lost custody of their teenager for refusing them hormone treatment. And a divorced Texas couple were in a court battle over whether or not to let their 7-year-old transition from a boy to a girl. And many are saying that the new proposed Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of their kids who want gender transition. But here's the thing, my son is 3. I'm not even going to let him choose what he wants for dinner. And some days, my son thinks he's a dinosaur. But I'm not going to let him transition to a dinosaur. And being in California, this is probably going to happen to people like me first. But I don't think it's going to be long before we start seeing parents lose custody of their young kids because they're not letting them transition to the opposite gender.
First of all, that dad is so based.
Ah, that's why hashtag based is down there. Learning a lot here. So here we have a favourite of the conservative playbook. Anecdotes that still just aren't weird at all. 3-year-olds are not gendered at all, pretty much. Parents put them in a dress and make them grow their hair out, and it's like, it's a girl. It is not that weird for a doctor to ask a 3-year-old what gender they are. Well, I guess we gotta do some rapid-fire bullshit article research then. Religious parents lose custody of transgender teen for refusing hormone treatment. 17-year-old, enough said. If you continuously make a child feel unloved like that, maybe you don't deserve one. Texas parents battle in court for custody of transgender child. Yeah, it is about a 7-year-old, but the judge ruled that they should settle it themselves. Also, the father started trying to grift from that situation, but ultimately it was a pretty sad situation that didn't end up in the transitioning of a 7-year-old. Pelosi's Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of kids who want gender transition. Oh, and this one's just a bullshit article made by a conservative think tank funded by, oh, not the Wilkes brothers this time, just a surprising amount of oil and petrol companies. The article is just spouting bullshit with no evidence, purely to further outrage among its conservative audience.
So many other people, but so many other children are not as lucky, and they have parents that are cucks, for lack of a better word, who are bought into all of this gender ideology propaganda, who are willing to let their kids say, oh, at 3 years old, yep, I'm a girl, and I have a video of this exact thing happening.
Jesus, couldn't do another take? Couldn't edit it differently? This feels like they're just editing random sound bites together. Is Ben not giving you guys enough budget to do that? Or did you blow it all on the shower curtain? Well, let's just see how this one video is proof that forced transitioning of minors is an epidemic.
Kids have to go to the pediatrician a certain number of times for the first few years of their life. At the 3-year checkup, they ask a question to see if the children know the difference. So the pediatrician looked at Bug, and she said, "Are you a boy or a girl?" Bug looked her in the eye and said, "I'm a girl." The doctor kind of looked at me. I was like, all right, never heard about it before, but whatever. And ever since that day, she has told us that she's a girl. A little under a year ago, she started correcting us on her pronouns. I'm not a him, I'm a her. Don't call me he. Mommy, I'm not he, I'm she. It has been 2.5 years now that she has been out. I told her father when I figured she was getting close to telling him herself. Didn't want him to respond poorly.
So what we can clearly see from this is that father has not had a singular experience. Apparently this is something that is happening around the country.
Is it? No part of this video said so. Why is asking a kid this so scary to these snowflakes? The parents clearly weren't pushing this on the kid. Why else would the kid have to correct them? It seems like a pretty normal situation. The kid sees themselves as a girl and as such likes to express themselves as a girl. They're so boring. Every time a single video pops up, they scream to the heavens that it must be endemic and all across the country. It must suck being allergic to evidence and addicted to catastrophizing.
Pediatricians are asking children, are you a boy or girl? And maybe that is something that has been going on for a while of, again, asking if your child knows the difference between a man and a woman. But that's not a very simple question to ask in 2022, considering people believe that gender is non-binary, that men and women are kind of the same thing, but also very different, that 3-year-olds can decide that they are something else. That question is not as black and white as it used to be. So pediatricians either need to acknowledge that it is a political question or they need to get rid of it altogether, because parents like this are going to take that and run with it and start transitioning their 3-year-old so that at 5 years old, they are out.
I love this clip because it's pretty true up until the end. She says it in a way that could have almost come out of my own mouth. It is a complicated question. It isn't black and white. Gender is not binary. Granted, a 3-year-old is probably more inclined to shit their pants and think about gender theory, but you know. But why would a pediatrician ignore a complicated question? You know they talk to parents too, who should be able to handle such a complicated question. Also, being out isn't surgery. It just means you present yourself socially as the person that you are. Social transitioning isn't something scary, you little baby.
That's psychotic. That child did not come out of the chute just believing that it could be transgender. You did this.
Yeah, and the baby didn't come out believing it was gendered either. Two can play at that game, you socially constructed idiot.
In what world is it appropriate to ask a toddler their gender so that you can insinuate that they might be trans, that they might need gender-affirming care? Oh, they might need a hysterectomy at 15 years old, 14 years old. They might need to get their boobs chopped off.
I love how normal it is to ask someone what gender they are, and how horrified she is that somebody would do what is just a normal thing. Getting asked your gender doesn't instantly make someone transition, you dumbass, and it isn't implying that they should either. Do you think a kid being asked that would suddenly go, oh, maybe I should transition? No! If they were like, you're a girl, right? Or something like that, you might have a case, but what is your gender is by no means a loaded question.
Like, newsflash, you do not have rights over these children. Leave them alone. 99% of the time, parents know what is best for their children. They don't need you stepping in to make decisions without their knowledge or consent so that you can either make more money or just feel more virtuous.
Pick a side. You can't go grabbing TikToks of parents saying their kids are trans and frame it as an evil parent epidemic while also saying that 99% of the time the parent knows best. Thank God there is nothing else to look at. Well, there is her merch store. Coming in first for the whitest girl in the world with the wool of candid Polaroids. We have shirts, pants, and hoodies, although it looks like just Arial font on the front. Or, if you want something that took longer than just 2 minutes to make, there's a choice of a Polaroid on a t-shirt or a Polaroid on a t-shirt. Damn, the right really is creative. I'm impressed. Well, that's all the Brett Cooper I'm going to subject you to for now. You're more than welcome to subscribe and like the video and tell me how I fucked up in the comments. But for now, see ya.